Good afternoon, everybody. Big Mike back here with you once again. Welcome back to Big Mike Talks, where today I bring to you my recap and review for Ring of Honor, SmackDown, Rampage, and Collision. Four-way wrestling goodness, and I'm going to share it with you today. And we start off with Ring of Honor. We start off very interestingly with a Ring of Honor World Heavyweight title match as Rocky Romero challenges Claudio Castagnoli. And we get basically power versus speed, including a triad swing, but Romero counters out of it into a Hurricane Rana, which was awesome. But after a sliced bread try and a couple of uppercuts, Gil winner, still Ring of Honor champion, Claudio Castagnoli. I was not expecting this matchup. It was very, very good, and a heck of a warm-up for Claudio for this coming Wednesday, in which he takes on Eddie Kingston. Oh, we'll be getting to that one, don't you worry. Next up, we got six-man tag team action players as the Outrunners. The Outrunners are all over the place, and I love it. Team up with Kevin Koo, who is one half of the DPW, Deadlock Pro Wrestling, shout out. Along with someone who we'll actually talk about later, Violence is Forever, as they take on the Infantry and Willie Mack. And honestly, this has been a trio made in heaven. All six of these guys got some good stuff in, although I don't think Truth Magnum ever made it into the match officially, but there were some heel shenanigans. And then after a combination super kick, stunner, leg sweep, and a big old super kick, your winners, Willie Mack and the Infantry. Then we go backstage for an interview with All Ego Ethan Page. Pretty much says, look, it's been a while since I've been in Ring of Honor. I think it's been like 9 years. So, yeah, it's definitely been a while. Says that he's lost his edge, and he's done nothing but chase the money. Now, Ring of Honor is the perfect place for me. And while I don't know who I am right now, I know what I'm capable of. So, kind of babyface Ethan Page coming, which that should be a fun one for Ring of Honor. Next up, we get Mercedes Martinez versus Zoe Lynn. Basically a squash match, although Zoe did get some stuff in. Overall, it was a Bayonet Brass City Sweeper. Your winner, Mercedes Martinez. Next up, we got another squash match. We got Matt Brannigan and Cole Raddick. Roderick Raddick, I forget what the dude's name is, taking on the Gates of Agony, 2/3 of the six-man tag team champions. And yeah, this was pretty much a squash match. After an Open the Gates, your winners, the Gates of Agony. We then get a little Billy Stark's interview, in which she has been presented by the interviewer a minion to-do list by Athena. Now, I don't truly remember everything that was told. One was, get a banana. Nice little reference there for you Minions fans. Not smile all the time. It's definitely a funny list. Billy Stark's pretty much, yeah, I can't do all this. I'm not capable of it. interview pretty much says, yeah, if you don't get this done within the next couple weeks when Athena returns, we're going to be in trouble. Then Billy Starks, look, I can knock one thing off my list at least. Takes out a banana. That was funny. Then she is presented with a MIT shirt, Minion in Training, handmade by Athena, which I love those. I hope those go on sale one day. I'd buy the heck out of that one. And then, yeah, Billy goes and gets it done. Tries to get it done, at least. Next up, one-on-one match. A very interesting one. One I don't think we've seen before. As Christopher Daniels takes on Darius Martin. And honestly, this was a hell of a good match. Real good back and forth. And with, of course, Christopher Daniels beating the good veteran that he is. It looked really, really good. Finish came after a countered Angel's Wings into a roll-up for the Darius Martin victory. In post-match, they shake hands, which is always good to see. Next up, another singles match. It's Lee Johnson taking on Shane Taylor, with Shane pretty much revealing, yeah, I want to get back into the TV title contention. So, yeah, this was a very interesting combination. Shane being the big striker, Lee Johnson being more of the finesse guy. But then as Lee Johnson was going for a move, down comes Lee Moriarty, of all people, distracts him long enough for Shane Taylor to recover and hit the Marcus Garvey driver for the win. And then post-match, they fist bump. So it looks like Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty are going to be a unit going forward, which, well, at least Lee Moriarty is going to be doing something. Next up, we got women's action, as it's Lady Frost taking on Willow Nightingale. And yeah, this was a fun little matchup. There were some snafus, but overall, this combination worked really, really well together. The almost lucha style of Lady Frost combined with the power of Willow made it a fun little matchup. Finishing up with the Girl with Power Powerbomb, which is a great name, for the victory. We then go to a Shane Taylor Lee Moriarty interview, pretty much confirming that Lee Moriarty is the newest member of Shane Taylor Promotions. Now, if you remember, back in the OG Ring of Honor, Shane Taylor Promotions was a stable. They were mostly headed by Shane Taylor himself, Bishop Khan, one third of the Gates of Agony, and there was one other guy. It wasn't Toa Leona. I forget who it is. But now they're rebuilding Shane Taylor Promotions. Hopefully we get to see more young talent team up with Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Next up, we got singles action. It's Josh the Goods Woods taking on Dominic Garrini, the other half of Violence is Forever. And, this was a squash match. Like, Garrini did try to get some things in, but ultimately, after a brainbuster, your winner, Josh Woods. And we get this interesting little matchup. We get Griff Garrison taking on All Ego Ethan Page in Ethan Page's first match back in Ring of Honor. And, at first, Griff Garrison gets off to a hot start. But then after a big boot and a cutter, your winner, Ethan Page. I feel like this match took way too short of a time. Hopefully, in the future, Ethan Page gets more in-ring time because he's really, really good. Next up, we got tag team action players. As the Workhorsemen, we'll be talking about them on Collision. Just you wait. Take on Dalton Castle's boys. And honestly, this was a fun little back and forth matchup. With Drake obviously using more of his power. Boys tried to outspeed him, but ultimately they hit a brick wall. And then after a super kick, a big old stomp, your winners, the Workhorsemen. Next, we go backstage for a Griff Garrison interview. Pretty much says, before he gets a word in comes Maria Kanellis. Pretty much saying, yeah, we told you that you were going to struggle out there without some friends to help you out. We could be those friends. Think about it. So we definitely get a more direct look at Maria Kanellis actively recruiting Griff Garrison. And find Alamo for Ring of Honor. We got Tony Nese taking on AR Fox. And honestly, this was a lot of fun to watch. Action was plentiful. Some interference from Smart Mark Sterling. But overall, finish game after a missed running Nese, which is a great name for a finisher. An elbow strike into a flatliner for the AR Fox victory. I do hope they do something fun with AR Fox coming up, because he's a great talent. And next up, we have Friday Night SmackDown, which kicks off with a Pat McAfee promo. Pat McAfee, of course, coming back to WWE for the first time since WrestleMania. Pretty much saying, yeah, I was up the road getting ready to cover the Colorado football game, which took place the night after. Pretty much says, yeah, there's 0% chance I wouldn't be here in front of the greatest crowd in the world. Almost automatically interrupted by Austin Theory. Pretty much saying, look, while this may be SmackDown, for everyone else, it's Austin Theory live. And look at what the Cat Drac did. And it's not anything I can't do. I'm out here because with you, I got some unfinished business, McAfee. And we're going to settle it. Then McAfee pretty much says, look, I don't want to fight you tonight. While you did call this the Austin Theory Live, this is the show, the people's show. And then, from out of nowhere, if you smell, that's right, Dwayne The Rock Johnson makes his first return to Friday Night SmackDown for the first time in a long time. And that pop, woo, that was exciting. Then he runs down Austin Theory, pretty much says, look, you know who you're in the ring with? You're in the ring with one of the greatest of all time. And Rock starts a "You are an asshole" chant, in which, Fox mutes it, in which, Fox, come on, dudes. Really? And then Rock pretty much says, look, you don't know who you're up against, so let me introduce you. By layeth the smacketh down. Yes, that was his catchphrase back in the day. That's where SmackDown came from. Before Rock could take a swing, Austin Theory starts right off. right into an Irish whip, spinebuster, people's elbow by The Rock, an ugly looking one by McAfee to end the segment. That segment went way too long, but honestly, I loved every goddamn second of it. The Rock is technically back. There are talks of him and Roman going for WrestleMania 40. I kind of hope not, because I want to see Cody finish his story. But I guess we'll see. So our first match of the evening, we got Finn Balor taking on AJ Styles. The Battle of the Stables. You got Balor representing Judgment Day, Styles representing the OC. Although the OC didn't come out with Styles, which, that was interesting. It was a fun little TV match. But overall, it got thrown out because Priest and Judgment Day interferes. Oh no, the match wasn't thrown out. Judgment Day were thrown out themselves after Priest grabbed Styles, but was caught by the ref. AJ looking for the Styles clash, but Jimmy Uso gets up on the apron, distracts Styles. Then Balor from behind with the roll-up, the 1, the 2, the 3. Your winner, Finn Balor. So, we'll see what happens. Then we get cut backstage to The Rock and Pat McAfee. They're talking some things out, hyping up how good the crowd was. And then you pan over John Cena. You can't make this stuff up. They stare each other down for a second. And then all of a sudden you hear Rock say, "I see you trying not to smile." And Cena's like, "Yeah." And then they just hug it out. Oh, that's a cool moment, man. Then we get Jimmy Uso kind of pacing around backstage. Finn Balor walks up, pretty much says, "Hey, thanks for assisting tonight." Jimmy says, "Look, I'm just repaying the favor you did for me last week, but now we're even." And then Balor brings up Jey Uso, who's on Raw, which... Balor then says, "Look, I miss my brothers all the time, but here's what I can offer. We've already offered Jey Uso a place in Judgment Day. Why don't we get the full Uso package so we can run both WWE Raw and SmackDown?" There's no leaders, which means no Roman. Think about it. Balor walks off, then Paul Heyman walks up, which, we didn't really get to hear from him because we go right into an LWO in-ring promo with Rey Mysterio going down his accolades, beating his son, and becoming the new United States champion. Then Santos Escobar pipes up, pretty much says, "Look, I'm happy that you're a part of our family now, but this would be my dream career made if I could face you for that title." Then it looks like Rey's about to choke up a little bit, say, "Oh, you should have came to me sooner. Of course we can have a title match." Then out comes Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Lashley pretty much says, "Look, here we are. If you're getting out title matches, Rey, why not to me? Huh? Because taking over would be easier than expected." Then it was Joaquin Wilde gets on the mic, pretty much says, "Hey, SA, we're in our gear, you're in your gear, let's do this." So this leads to the LWL, which is Joaquin Wilde and not Santos Escobar, Cruz del Toro taking on the Street Profits. And it was a short nothing match in which I guess that portion of the LWO are just jobbers. Like, come on, the LWO are so popular. It's time to push them a little bit more. Post-match, Street Profits and Lashley continue the attack on the LWO. Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio try to make the save, but Lashley takes them out. So, no bit of a nothing match. Like I said, I do hope eventually that portion of the LWO gets something more, because right now they're nothing. And the next matchup, we got LA Knight, taking on The Miz in a Payback rematch because, they really don't know what to do with LA Knight. And I will say, this one was a bit lackluster. Like, I didn't love the one from Payback, but at least that was entertaining. They pretty much took out the John Cena factor, which kind of annoyed me, but overall it was a fine TV match in which, LA Knight won with the BFT. And post-match, LA Knight gets a microphone, pretty much says, look, the day I got started in this business, it wasn't easy for me, but I'm not stopping anytime soon. I'm coming for gold, and look at the top. No one is safe from L.A. Knight. Yeah. So, at least we get a kind of a target from L.A. Knight. Hopefully he wins something sometime soon. Then we get Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman backstage. They're watching showing that they watched that match, with Solo pretty much saying, yeah, I know my next target. With Heyman saying, no. You need to concentrate on Jimmy. Fight that battle when it comes to you. You're taking on way too much. You're messing with Knight. You got something with Jimmy. And now you're picking fights with Cena. We gotta wait for Roman to give the order, and then you can handle the business. And then so it's like, yeah, I'm gonna finish this tonight. And Heyman pretty much squeals, who gave that order? Call Roman Reigns. Right to his phone. We then get Adam Pearce backstage in wheels. Pretty deadly. Haven't seen them for a while. Then it's reported that I forget their names, I'm sorry. The one who has the shoulder injury will be back in the ring in no time. But then they go into theatrics, pretty much saying, I'm a shell of my former self. I hurt when I heard my bones breaking. The horror. Then Adam Pearce is like, wait, you hurt your shoulder, right? Then why are you in a wheelchair? Which sets the boys off. And then they hype each other up and roll out. So, looks like Pretty Deadly's getting ready to come back. Hopefully that comes soon, because honestly, I kind of miss them. We then get Bayley and Dakota Kai backstage, with Bayley saying, look, I've accounted for this the whole time. Let's stick to the plan, and let's show up tonight against Asuka. And then Dakota's like, well, with everything that's going on with Shotzi, are you truly ready for Asuka? Which that leads right into Asuka versus Bayley. And honestly, super good match. They really went at it. Nearish the end, Both roll outside the ring. Bayley looks like she's about to stomp a mud hole into Asuka. In the crowd pops up Shotzi, who, man, this kind of took me out of the match. She kind of like, when you're like chasing a baby and like, oh, I'm gonna get you. That's what it reminded me of, and it just felt so out of place and childish. And look, I get it. You want to project Shotzi as kind of a psychopath, someone who's lost it. Don't do that. Have her grab a chair or something, at least. I don't know. Shotzi then chases Bayley in the ring, right into the roll-up for Asuka. Shotzi then chases Bayley and Dakota out of the arena, and then gets back into the ring to have a fist bump with Asuka, in which I don't want face Asuka again. Give me badass heel Asuka who would destroy Shotzi in 2 seconds. We then get our main event segment of the night with the Grayson Waller effect with special guest John Cena, because of course he needs to be on this. Grayson Waller does not let John Cena speak, pretty much saying how it's an honor, but obviously you need help. That's why you're coming in for the Grayson Waller rub. But instead of letting others shine, you have to get yourself involved in other people's business, including reffing a match that you had no business in. Do you really want to wrestle anymore, John? You call yourself the greatest of all time. That's the furthest from the truth. And you haven't been the same since WrestleMania. John Cena then starts taking off his, hat and shirt, getting ready for a fight. Grayson's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Out comes Jimmy Uso. Pretty much picks up the mic, pretty much says, look, man here has a good point. Nobody wants you here, Cena. Everyone's come to see me, Jimmy Uso. Do you want to be embarrassed again, John? Now get out of my ring. In comes Solo Sikoa, grabs the scruff of the neck of Jimmy. Looks like he's going to hit the Samoan spike on him. Turns around, super kicks John Cena right in the face. Both of them start beating him down in the corner. And AJ Styles, of all people, makes the save. And Cena then hits the 5-knuckle shuffle on Jimmy. Tries for an AA, but Solo saves Jimmy. So, this whole storyline has gotten so convoluted. Like, what we had in the Bloodline a few months ago, that was interesting. That was fun. Well, I wouldn't say fun, but it kept me glued to my TV. This feels like a step back. Like, why aren't Jimmy and Jay feuding? Why are we not having anything with... Well, I do kind of like Jay being involved with Sammy and KO and their trust issues, which is fine. It feels like WWE are on purpose cooling down all their big feuds. Like Roman, Cody have been separated ever since WrestleMania. Jimmy and Jay, after their SummerSlam betrayal, nothing. No follow-ups, no continuing of the story. He's on Raw, he's on SmackDown. They're gonna fight other people. Like, come on, WWE. This isn't how you do long-term stories. Give us something. Alright, anyway, that's that's it from SmackDown. Started out white hot with The Rock, but ultimately it felt like another normal SmackDown. Then we get into Rampage, baby. We start out with an 8-man tag team match as Matt and Jeff Hardy team up with Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. to take on Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal and the Butcher and the Blade. And honestly, this was chaos incarnate. Like, everyone got their stuff in. At one point, you see the Hardys and Double J and Jay Lethal fighting up the ramp. Hardys are easily taken out. But then the Lucha Brothers hit the Fear Factor for the victory. But then out come on the stage, right over the Hardys, Vincent and Dutch, the Righteous. So it looks like they're going to be feuding with the Hardys, which that could be fun. Then we get a backstage interview with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, where she's feeling a little bit disappointed in her plan to get the title at a Grand Slam, saying I should be 2-time champ by now, but I'm going to do what I do best, and that's make history. I'm going to be the first ever woman to hold the women's title and the TBS title. So let's make it right. So it looks like we're getting Statlander versus Baker soon. Although Statlander has a challenge on Rampage. Just wait. We then get a QTV segment, which is, headed by Johnny Mundo. I'm not going to call him Johnny TV. That is a stupid name. Pretty much saying, look, QT's busy right now defending his AAA Latin American title. He's been so busy that those in Mexico are calling him the Mexicutioner, which, don't know if I like that or not. Then Haley Atwell, I think her name is, asked, is QT ever coming back? In which Mundo kind of grabs her face and says, of course he's coming back. He'll be back before you know it. He then introduces this random luchador, El Hijo del Harvey. I have no idea who that is. I've never heard of this guy. Brings him out front. He poses a little bit. Kick to the gut. And then Haley starts attacking him with scissors, which Mundo stops him and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Why are you attacking our man with scissors here? We then go into a very interesting tag team match. We got Matt Sydal taking on, and Christopher Daniels taking on Matt Taven and Mike Bennett of the Kingdom. And honestly, this was a very, very well thought out, well paced bout with the Kingdom hitting the Proton Pack for the victory. Then we get Taven on the microphone, pretty much saying, look, wait, we don't have a lot of time for this. We're going to go check on our buddy Roddy Strong, who's in the hospital. We're not going to blame Joe for his continued injury. We're going to blame Adam Cole. But before that, we're going to take back our Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. And Roddy, we're coming home. Which, that promo was oddly funny and very excellent. Going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. We then get the full might of the Embassy in an interview where they reply to the Young Bucks and Adam Page challenge from Dynamite, pretty much saying, yeah, let's do it. Grand Slam, let's have this match. So, at Grand Slam, we're going to get the Embassy versus the Hung Bucks for the trio 6-man tag team titles. And honestly, that combination actually held those titles previously. So, that could be fun. Next up, we got 6-man tag team match playa as the Acclaimed, including Billy Gunn, take out the Outrunners. See, I told you they're everywhere. And Peter Avalon, who is a very interesting choice for a partner. This is pretty much the basic squash match for the Acclaimed, in which Billy Gunn hits the Fameasser, mic drop by Max Caster for the victory. Then out on the ramp is the Dark Order. Pretty much saying, look, we want those trios titles, and let's have a little fun. Why doesn't Dark Order get the shot? We've been ignored for the last 4 years, and we're tired of good things happening to bad people. So, damn, that's a shot. So, Evil Uno proposes a match for a collision, one of us versus one of you. And if our guy wins, we get the trio's title shot. And then the Acclaim plays some rock, paper, scissors. Everyone throws scissors every single time, which is funny. Then Bowens gets on the mic, pretty much says, look, it doesn't matter who wins that. Coming tomorrow, I'll take that match on. So, it's going to be Anthony Bowens versus somebody. We'll see. Then we get Aussie Open taking on Lord Crew and Damian Chambers in pretty much a squash match. Didn't even take a minute. Then our main event for AEW Rampage, it's for the TBS title as Jade Cargill challenges Chris Statlander. And honestly, this was a horse fight. This was big meaty women slapping me, if that makes any sense. Yeah, this was a great old match. Finishers were countered left, right, and center. But then after a Friday Night Fever, your winner, Chris Statlander. Now what's interesting is, post-match, they not only shake hands, but they embrace. And from what I'm hearing from reports, Jade Cargill's contract is up in AEW, and she's going up to the big leagues, to WWE, which, honestly, I think she could fit better there. Am I sad to see Jade Cargill go without challenging for the AEW World title? Of course. I thought she would have been a shoo-in, but now she's on to some interesting things. Whether that be in NXT, Raw, SmackDown, wherever, she's going to be a star. So, that's it from me for Rampage. We then go into the final show of the week, and it's Collision, which starts out with pre-recorded videos from pretty much everyone on the card, which that felt weird. Half the time I didn't even know who was talking, and it was very hard to keep track of. I hope AEW learns from this, never does this again. Now we start off our card, with Ricky Starks teaming up with Big Bill to take on Claudio Castagnoli and Bryan Danielson. And honestly, this was a great fight. About midway through, Claudio spun Ricky Starks, which that was interesting. After a blocked superplex and a low blow into the Rochambeau, your winners, Big Bill and Ricky Starks. We then get a promo from the Elite, pretty much saying, yeah, we accept your challenge for Grand Slam. Put those Ring of Honor tag titles on the line, and we'll see you next week. Honestly, that should be a fun-ass heck match. I can't wait. Then we get a Powerhouse Hobbs promo, which was interesting. He's talking about ripping and tearing through the roster and getting what's mine. Which then leads into a Miro promo in kind of a reaction to Hobbs, which is interesting. Pretty much saying, Hobbs, you can thank me. I sent you to him. Eventually, we're going to meet up again. But then he kind of pivots to the return of CJ Perry, aka Lana, who made her return at All Out. Pretty much saying, why did you come back? You pray to me, but fools that don't want to be redeemed, there's hell to pay. So, we'll see what happens with this CJ Perry Miro storyline. Will they get back together, or will they be separate entities? I'm not sure. We'll see. We then get the AEW Tag Title Open Challenge as FTR takes on the Iron Savages. Which, honestly, this was a better match than I thought it would be. Nice and crisp moves from everybody. But then after a superplex into a big splash, your winners, FTR. But then coming down the ramp, sliding into the ring, are the Workhorsemen. They go face to face with FTR. They extend their hands, and then they shake on it. So it does look like we are getting FTR versus the Workhorsemen in the near future, which is definitely going to be an interesting matchup. We then get a Keith Lee interview, which starts with a production snafu, in which we hear someone from the production staff say, Keith Lee interview, take 20, action. Which, I don't know if that was an accident or they purposely did it. They did do something similar down the line in a Ricky Starks interview, but I think they were just trying to cover their tracks. But anyway, before Keith Lee could say anything, Shane Taylor rolls in, saying, look, Keith, you're still living in the past. Meet the newest member of Shane Taylor Promotions, Lee Moriarty. And Shane Taylor Promotions don't run from a fight. Keith Lee responds, neither do I. And Shane Taylor responds, not running will be your downfall. So it looks like we're going to get Keith Lee versus Shane Taylor Promotions coming soon. Definitely a lot of history between those two, especially as tag partners. So then we roll into the Acclaimed versus Dark Order match, as Anthony Bowens is waiting for his opponent. Whole week he's been thinking it was Evil Uno. Surprise, surprise, it's the Meat Man, John Silver. And it starts off really, really fast-paced. John Silver is such a good wrestler. I can't believe it. Then after a distraction for the ref, Evil Uno comes out of nowhere, attacks Bowens, rolls him back in. Silver hits a big old knee strike for the victory. So we're getting Dark Order versus the Acclaimed for their trios titles coming sometime down the line. Then we get a backstage Eddie Kingston promo, pretty much saying, look, me and Claudio go back to 2006, 2007. Back then we started living together, which I didn't know they were roomies. That's an interesting twist. Back then he started judging me, and then when he left, we had to clean up his messes. I then pushed everyone away. But I have something Claudio doesn't, and that's hope. It's been with me my whole life. AEW is my home, and I'm not going to let you come in and end me. You're out of your mind. You can try to beat me if you can in New York, but can you deal with that? You're a great wrestler, Claudio, but you're not ready for my home. In which, nice, very, very good promo from Mr. Kingston. I cannot wait for his match with Claudio. Then we get an Orange Cassidy Hook interview. It was pretty much Orange Cassidy saying, look, you want a team? Hook saying, Grand Slam? Cassidy saying, let's do it. And then a fist bump. So, looks like Orange Cassidy and Hook are going to be a tag team for a little bit. Hopefully, Danhausen doesn't get jealous. We then get Aussie Open versus a couple of jobbers. And it pretty much goes the same way as Rampage. Coriolis win. Aussie Open then gets on the microphone, pretty much saying, FTR, are you paying attention now? You won your match earlier tonight in 2 to 3 minutes. We won our match in under 1. You guys are all talk. But now we're throwing out this challenge. We're calling our shot. Wrestle Dream. You versus us for the tag team titles. So that's gonna be freaking good, man. Cannot wait for that. Then we get a very interesting Toni Storm interview where it's like sit down. I think they're in her home. She starts off complaining about the lighting. Interviewer says, well, you've obviously changed a lot. Storm pretty much is taken aback. I haven't changed one bit. The business has changed. Listen to the fans. This is a company, not a charity. If I'm the odd woman out, so be it. Very interesting start to this. Apparently this is going to be a multiple part interview, in which I'm all for. We then get a Scorpio Sky pre-recorded video promo saying, yeah, right now I'm right back in the deep end. And Andrade is the best in the world. But you're not the reason why I'm coming back. I'm not just coming back. I'm here. Snaps fingers. Rolls right into Scorpio Sky versus Andrade, which was a very good TV matchup. Which was won by Andrade with the figure 8. I was hoping Scorpio would pick up a win here, but Andrade's kind of been the man on Collision. Which is funny. Then out comes the entire Bullet Club Gold group. Pretty much addressing Andrade, saying, look, you've obviously been having fun watching the Bang Bang Gang have our matches. Why don't you join up with us? And these are obviously my boys, and you can't have them. So why don't I give you the Switchblade Spotlight, Jay White, and Andrade? And why don't we do it right here, right now? Andrade gets out of the ring. Looks like he's going to brawl with Bullet Club Gold. But officials and refs hold both back. We then get a nice little video package of the history between Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. Starting with their days in DDT. Then we have an interview in which it's used an app to translate with Shibata, who reveals he has a match at Wrestle Dream. Opponent? ? We'll see who that is. We then roll right into a tag team match playa as the Hardys take on the Righteous. And honestly, this was such a good match. Both sides worked really, really well together, including Dutch with his power and Jeff with more of his endurance. But after I'm just going to say Sunshine because I don't know the full name of the finisher. Your winners are the Righteous, which, that's interesting. Righteous beating the Hardy Boys. Couldn't say I saw that coming. We then get Vincent on the microphone. Pretty much introducing themselves to the crowd. Saying, we are two believers who seek truths. Just one beat, and we just beat one of the greatest tag teams in the world. You all are just prisoners, fooled by the con man. And we don't believe in the devil. Our truth will kill your ego. So, definitely going to be an interesting to see where the Righteous go from here. We then get a Claudio Castagnoli promo. Pretty much saying, Eddie, I know you better than you know yourself. You're not man enough. I'm sick of this. So at Grand Slam, I'm going to be putting an end to this and burn your dreams to ashes. Ooh, such a good promo. We then get an FTR interview, pretty much saying, challengers are coming at us left, right, and center. We got the Workhorsemen to deal with. But at Wrestle Dream, we face off with Aussie Open with or without the title belts. So, more than likely, they're going to beat the Workhorsemen and then challenge Aussie Open, which, that's going to be fun. Then we get a Ricky Starks interview, again with the production snafu. Pretty much say, Danielson, I've beaten you already, but I'm going to end your dream and turn it into a nightmare. Because next week, it's going to be you versus me in a Texas death match. In which, woo boy, that's going to be fun. That's going to be interesting. And finally, our main event of the evening. It is once again for the TBS title. As Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, takes on Chris Statlander. And honestly, this was a great little bout between the two of them. A couple of times Statlander got out of the lockjaw, which might be time to see some a new finisher for Miss Baker. And then, after a flurry of moves, including a destroyer, angel swings, and a curb stomp, Britt Baker locks in the lockjaw, but Statlander rolls her up for the victory. So Statlander keeps her title, but then the camera cuts to something interesting. Julia Hart, with her hands crossed. Looks like Julia's going to be the next challenger. So, nice little thing to finish up our week. Hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments what you thought of the rest of the week in pro wrestling. I should be back to covering everything wrestling this week, so unless something changes, I'll let you know. And until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.